ready? You better be ready, because it's almost showtime. Come on. Let's do this. Hey guys!
Welcome to the One Up Weekly Live.
Yeah. What is going on? What's up?
Going on, man?
Not much. We're going to talk about beat 'em ups today. All about beat 'em ups. There's so many freaking good beat 'em ups, and I know that we're going to talk about arcade 1-up and beat 'em ups, but I think we need to talk about beat 'em ups in general because there's so many of them. Like so many, and a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, of course, this could turn into will they or won't they? Will Arcade 1-Up come out with it? Will II Arcade come out with it? You know, what are the...
I know, we have another player now that can potentially... We actually, technically, II Arcade could put it on their store, and now that ArcadeNet is a paid-for service, it could go there, too. So there's, like, 3 places you could end up with a game that you want to play, potentially.
That's right. You know, before we jump in, how was your week, Ralph?
It was
honestly,
busy.
Like, we haven't talked at all, so, like, just for a second, how you doing, buddy?
Super, super busy and super stressful. And yeah, I haven't normally Justin and I probably talk usually like once a day, and I don't even know we talked this week. Maybe once. We talked like once this week. No, it was once. We talked once this week.
Yeah. A little bit of text messaging, but not much. Super busy. I think both of our jobs, hectic time right now. The New Year started, projects are in flight, super busy. And someone in the chat was saying, because we were running late, Justin has to finish WandaVision, and that's exactly right. I was upstairs in the middle of WandaVision episode 3 with the family, and looking at the timing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to start the show before we finish it, and we were gonna skip it. And I was like, no, let's watch it together as far as we can, and the family will continue watching it without me, and I'll finish it up. But I'm excited about that series as well.
This is how bad work has got. When you need to put a mini whiteboard in front of your desk. Like, this is my mini whiteboard.
Oh, what's Ralph been up to? Okay, let's try to break it down, figure out what those means.
Actually, there's one thing on there that's totally not work related.
Juggernaut? What's that?
No, that says SKO. I don't even know what it says. SKO is sales. SKO is sales kickoff. But wait. Oh, involvement.
It looked like Juggernaut.
And it's all really not exciting stuff. Goals, metrics, team overview of 2020, and ping Jason executive reoccurring meeting. Sounds really fun and exciting. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? Work has been busy for me. I actually got what's it called? A focus planner. It's like a book. It's basically like an expensive notepad that you write your stuff in, but it has your dailies in it, like hourly. You kind of like write it all down. And I actually used it so much that I had to buy a second one for this next quarter. And I actually like it.
This sounds like a Franklin Covey or Covey.
Maybe.
That's old school, dude. Like, you have to like go to training to use it. This isn't one of those things where you have to like go to training to use it. It's just
super
a basic
easy,
notebook.
Super boring for everybody. But anyway, every day I look at it and I write down my schedule for the day, and I make 3 goals of what I'm going to accomplish in that day, and I write check marks if I do. And then at the end of the day, I have a retrospective with myself, and I say, if I could go back in time, this is the interesting part. If I could go back in time and start the day over again, would I change anything? And surprisingly, there's a lot of days I would not go back in time and change anything, which was really good self-respective because it taught me like I did good that day because I wouldn't change anything. And I've been having struggles with like, am I accomplishing my goals on a daily basis? And the notebook helped me figure out I am. Anyway,
you're getting called out. You're getting called out by the audience. So yeah, beat 'em ups.
Anyway, well, let's talk about
something. Can I tell you something crazy I did though? Oh shit! Don't do this. This show could end really early if the dogs decide they're gonna. I'm the only one here. I was messing around because I wanted to get ready for the show. And so I don't have it on because the Neo Geo, the refresh rate on the screen is crazy and the camera picks it up weird. But I put a Pandora's Box DX in it temporarily just so I could play with all the beat 'em ups that we'd probably talk about today. And the one that I played that, guys, I've never actually played this, and you can make fun of me for it, is I never played Moo Mesa ever. Never played it. and it's actually really really fun. Like it's a really cool. It almost looks like they did like sprite swaps with like what do you call it? Oh, the Texas shooting game, the Texas side scrolling beat 'em up. It's got to be on the you know what I'm talking about?
Sunset
the Texas,
Riders?
yeah, it almost looks like they like it's got like a Sunset Riders vibe. So, anyways, there you go.
Well, that's interesting. So let's get it out of the way. Let's talk a little bit about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a beat 'em up that's super popular. Arcade 1-Up has already released that cabinet, and you have to read a super chat, huh? Go for it.
Well, he says, after watching Cool Toy play Pinball X on At Games, I'm being pulled closer and closer to the dark side and may actually have to get one. I'm assuming he's talking about the pinball machine. I guess we could talk about that at the end because that would totally be a completely different topic if we want to. But thanks for the super chat, Stringer.
So, interesting thing about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I bought that cabinet, and I'd like to get your opinion on it, Ralph. Like, I had a lot of fun with that cabinet when people came over. We would, like, 4 people would play, a couple kids would play. Game is a lot of fun. You could beat the game with, like you just keep putting in fake quarters. You beat it in about 30, 40 minutes casually, no big deal.
Yeah.
And it's actually, when it's in that atmosphere, like, it's a lot of fun.
Super exciting.
But if you're solo and you're like, hey, I'm going to sit down and play TMNT, it's about 5 minutes and you're like, yeah, I'm done.
Well, or you've already beat it prior, so you just don't have like motivation to play it. It's weird because it's like the replay value of it is actually pretty low, and I think we're seeing a lot of those like in my local market. I'm seeing like a bunch of them pop up on Marketplace and like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think that's a tough one because you could almost say that this whole idea of like side scrolling beat 'em up fatigue could exist in almost all of them because like they were meant to like you were meant to go to the arcade and it was meant to be hard and you put a lot of quarters into it. So you may not even finish it in a sitting. You may not finish it in several visits.
That's right.
You know, until you actually have enough quarters to get through it. Now there's certain like oddity people that are like amazing at the game and they'll like be awesome at it no matter what. And they can get through it with like a handful of quarters, but most needed to spend a lot of money to beat it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I mean, when I was a kid, I think I'd make it to like level 2 or level 3 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I definitely wouldn't beat it. I do remember getting to the, I don't know what level it is. Maybe it is deeper in, where it's like you're kind of on hoverboards. But then I might be also thinking of when the SNES version also has.
Yeah, you might be. Well, I remember jumping in. The cool thing about the arcade is you could jump in on games.
That's right.
So like
someone really good at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember waiting there one time because I wanted to beat it so bad. I wanted to be part of the excitement and hype of beating it that I like threw in a quarter when they were at Krang and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. But then like after I kind of felt like guilty. Like I cheated, you know?
cheated.
Like I didn't go ride the whole game with them. I just like jumped in at the end. But that's what's cool about arcade games is you could jump in. You know, you could be like, oh, these guys are cool. Like, I'm going to hang out with them and you jump in. So that's kind of, let's table that idea because that's where like X-Men Online could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because you can jump in on games.
Yeah. So let's talk about X-Men for a second now. Ralph, I'll pull up a picture. Maybe you can read the super chats.
Yeah. So Peter Griffin Electric Drums said, hey guys, you're both awesome. Thank you. You're awesome too. Just wanted to make a statement. Tekken and Virtual Fighter fighting games are the best ever. Arcade One needs to do them, I think is what he's saying there. And then hold on, there's a couple more. There's like 2 more that just rolled in. All right, where's a Power Rangers cabinet? I don't know. That's I don't know if that's was there a Power Rangers arcade game? If so, I totally missed that one.
Check that out.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. All right, Crumb says, thanks for the super chat. He says, having unlimited lives takes the fun out of it. It's kind of true. It can. Yeah, it can.
I'm back and forth on that one. Like so here's the thing. I haven't done this yet, but I've imagined I want to do it. Like I've taught, like actually put a coin door in these machines and then kind of limit yourself. I'm sure. Let me know if anyone in the chat has done that, where you did modify your cabinet or you have an original cabinet and you use coins, but you have like $3 or something of coins. And when you run out of $3, you're like, that's it. And it's like someone on the Facebook group said something interesting. I can't remember what it was. It was like, that game cost me $33. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I 33 times 4. That's how many quarters I put in. They're like, oh, but anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. But some people like add up the cost And I did that. A lot of the kind of main style cabinets that I have, you'll you go up to 100 credits, right? And then when you get to the end, you're like, oh man, I had 25 left. That cost me 75 coins.
So I feel like Michael B is kind of doing what you said, except I think he's sort of saying like,
Yeah.
look, we play it over, but like try to limit how many times how many times you press start, which is technically a coin in an arcade 1-up.
Yeah.
That'd
My
be kind of
daughter
cool.
and I
Like
do
challenge
that
yourself.
with Contra on the NES. We play Contra a lot, and we're like down to 3 continues, but we started with like 10 or something when we first started playing it. And one of these days, we're gonna beat the game with no continues. Anyway.
That's kind of cool. You know what would be kind of cool? Remember when we did the live stream on and we introduced people to Antstream, that online service?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's been coming up more and more lately because the Atari VCS, they have some sort of partnership with
they're
Antstream, or it's an
integrating it or
app
something?
or something.
Oh,
It's like
cool.
a pre-installed app, I think. Wouldn't it be kind of neat? Like someone actually posted a Twitter message about this. So like, it'd be cool if Arcade 1-Up, because AtGames has ArcadeNet, if like Arcade 1-Up decided, hey, let's partner with someone, and maybe Antstream is that company. But why Antstream is cool is because it can add replay value to a game that
that's
otherwise
right.
wouldn't have it. Because it might be like, hey, you have to it drops you into a level where you're fighting Krang, and it'll be like you have to beat Krang but with only kicks or something, whatever it is. Like it'll be like a challenge, and you'll keep dying until you defeat the challenge. But it's kind of cool. Like it brings new life to a game where you're like, oh wow, this is a cool little. I remember we did that, but
it has so much potential. We'll take a break and talk about that just for a second. This Antstream service, and yeah, like you're saying, like it's not just you play the games, but they're like drop you in. I'm just repeating what Ralph said. They drop you into the part of the game and they give you a challenge, which is a different game mechanic of the original game at all. Completely.
yeah, like there's a part where you get dropped into Metal Slug, and it's like you can only use your grenades.
Yeah.
But you have to get by this one part. You can only use grenades and you can't get hit or something. But they don't have it for all games, but they're actually like, they have to do that, actively program that in. So they'll do that to older games. It's really neat. Like I'm going to actually, I truly think I'm going to dive back into Antstream a little bit more because they've put a bunch of new challenges up. So if you guys, it is a paid for service, but if you guys are looking to, I don't know if it'd be fair to call it the Netflix of retro gaming, because I think we called it that in our live stream, but I don't know if it's not really that feature rich, but it has a lot, and they keep adding them. They don't have AAAs as much, but it's pretty neat. Oh, whoa.
So who remembers this one? So this one was
Who
really
did
cool.
this? Wait, is this the real one, or is this the? Oh, someone converted it though. That looks like it's got LCD going around the back, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
this is
see
a
the
random picture on
CRTs
the internet.
Oh, okay.
I think this is a work in progress of some picture on the internet, but I just wanted to showcase it, as an example of, do you guys remember playing this game? Of course, X-Men, but the 6-player version in the arcade with your friends. The more people, the better. And that's another thing. Like we're talking about the other games. If you play X-Men on its own by yourself, yeah, it could be fun. But when you're with your friends, when you're at the arcade, that's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Natalie's kind of saying what you said. She says I've seen this before. She's posted it on Instagram, but she says, I have a Burger Time machine that runs on quarters. I limit myself to $1.
Right. Yeah. So the question is, you were saying it earlier, could, like in the case of X-Men, could you somehow recapture that joy of playing beat 'em ups by having the online play? Like NBA Jam as it's live. Could you do that with an X-Men?
Well, they are doing it, so we'll see how it works. I mean, they said that's what they're going to do. So I like that idea because I think it'd be fun to know I'm playing it with other people. It's just, I know you disagreed with me on the voice chat thing because you thought it was weird. I actually think it would be cool among friends.
Yeah, I think there was someone who commented, was like, I was so rude for saying that. I do want to, I do want to like clarify. Like, yes, I think it's cool, but when you asked that question, I was thinking from like an engineer's point of view that has to implement it. And I was like, we should work on something cooler. Like, I don't think that's going to sell cabs. I don't think like it's a cool feature that people would be like, oh, that's cool. But I don't know if people would actually use it because there's alternatives to it. Because you're like, why don't you just, group chat?
So Michael says it would be great to have a coin door and charge my family to play. Ben says, I suck at arcade games, but love to play them. Unlimited lives are awesome. I'm okay with cheating. So,
right.
Oh my God. How loud is that when they bark?
you're okay at talking over it, but
All right, so Jeff Walsh, thanks for the super chat. He said, bought all the stuff for the bass shaker mod and the pinball tutorial soon. I think I can figure it out. The 4 speaker wires coming out the back. Yeah, I plan on filming that. It's just been like really busy, like I said with Justin, so I haven't had a chance to get to it yet.
Once you call your dog to you and you can show your dogs to your family,
it doesn't matter.
They don't come,
dude. Let's not talk about the dog. Let me see if I can rectify the situation really quick. But
all right,
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
All right. So tell me what you guys think. We're gonna go through and talk about some of the arcade games, these beat 'em ups. Yeah, Ralph's gonna try to figure it out. Yeah, what is wrong with the dog? Is the dog in pain? Ralph's just like, man, let him bark. And actually, they're like, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this part of the show, we wanted to talk about what is your favorite beat 'em up. We put together a list. I'm going to show that right now. We put together a list of some of, well, we didn't put the list together. It was the website that did. This giant, Ralph's coming back. So giantbomb.com has this section about the 100 top favorite brawler games.
Yeah, some of these are a mix, right? It's a mix of console and arcade, right? But the top of the list is kind of. Or you want to start from the bottom?
Yeah, I think so. We'll just scroll through, real quick, and Ralph, tell me to stop when you see one that's like just a.
Well, Zombie Revenge is awesome, but Zombie Revenge. I'm trying to remember. No, Zombie Revenge. I don't think was arcade. Zombie Revenge was Dreamcast. That's really fun though. That's not really I don't know. That's not really a beat 'em up though. I mean, I guess it is more of a brawler, so the list is going to have some games in there that aren't really side-scrolling beat 'em ups.
There we go.
Vendetta's fun. Vendetta's fun. I don't think it could hold its own. I don't think you'd have its own cabinet for Vendetta, but I can see Vendetta being part of a bundle because it's Konami, right? For sure.
Right. So we got in the chat, you can see, let's see, Final Fight 2. There's no other. I just saw a list.
Oh, well, Guardian Heroes would be awesome, but sorry, you were clicking on that.
Go ahead.
No, I think we were clicking on the same thing, I think, which is weird.
Okay. And Guardian Heroes.
Wait, Zombie Revenge was arcade, Natalie? Really? I never played it in the arcade. I played it on the Dreamcast.
Let's see.
The
what
Peacekeepers, have you so let's start with these obscure ones so that you just rolled by it. The Peacekeepers is actually like kind of fun, sorta, on the Super Nintendo. I don't know if you guys have ever played Peacekeepers, but if you can find it cheap, like at a used store or whatever, if the physical cart, it'd be worth picking up. It's kind of fun. I like it. I don't think it's rated very well. Like, let's see what they rated it. Probably like totally terrible, but I liked it. It had the soundtrack was super
One person has rated it as a 4.
The soundtrack is like really brutal because it repeats itself over and over and over again, but I still think the game is fun.
Yeah. Let's see. See if we can go through.
Michael B. I knew would jump in there on Peacekeepers. He likes Peacekeepers.
Yeah. Let's see. Is anything else of interesting popping out? So we're getting down. I think once we get into like the 40s, we start to see. So we got Shinobi.
Because Gauntlet Legends isn't a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is great.
There you go.
I just don't know where you'd see what they rated Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I'm curious because.
Let's see. Does it even have any ratings? I don't think it's rated.
No, this site doesn't. Oh well. I mean, I love Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I feel like you could throw that on like some kind of mashup. It'd be awesome because that's Capcom. So you could totally, like, I don't know. You could almost think about if they made one of those legacy cabinets, like they made a Capcom legacy cabinets that had all the other games that are Capcom, like that are popular, not fighting. Like that maybe they make that could be cool.
See, that's more than cool. That's kind of my dream is, I've said this before. I think you've talked about it, like create categories, right? And make a cabinet that's dedicated, but then put like 12 or 20 of the best, really great games. But it's like all beat 'em ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they could do that. They could totally do a Capcom's beat 'em ups cabinet. We could actually create one. We should actually like create a Capcom's beat 'em up cabinet today.
Yeah,
like put a bunch of titles together.
It'd be like, what are the 12 best games that have to go on it? Right? That could be fun.
Do you guys want? Well, we can do that or someone already did it. So Capcom, Alien versus Predator. That's Capcom.
You making the list? Be like,
Yeah,
all right,
Alien
John,
versus
here's your
Predator.
12-in-1 list. Go get it. Go make it
Alien
happen.
versus Predator would be awesome. Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Okay.
I don't know how to spell Cadillacs. You guys throw in games if you do. You think it'd be cool, first of all, to do a cap song? This website's suspect. Michael B says. I know. We were just trying to find one that had good images. What other Capcom games do you guys think would be cool to put on it? I like Alien versus Predator, Cadillacs, and Dinosaurs. I think that's good so far. What's the one? Captain Commando would be a good one, I think. Oh, Punisher for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Punisher would have to go on it.
Just think of all the games
Final
that
Fight.
you have on your, what's it called? The Dark Soft?
Yeah, the Darksoft mod. Captain Commando would be great. I want to see if we can get to 10. So we have Alien vs. Predator, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Punisher, Final Fight, Captain Commando. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons would be good.
Mm.
Dungeons and Dragons is an interesting beat 'em up because it incorporated elements of sort of a like a role playing game, not role playing, it has like a little bit of like role play to it. It's weird. Not role play. What am I looking at? Not role play.
Role-playing games?
No, the games,
story?
the genre I don't play. The one where you gain experience to buy stuff, like all that. Like, what is that called?
I don't know. Dumb games?
No, isn't it role? You know, guys, RPG.
RPG?
Sorry, yeah, RPG. I was saying RPG, but not RPG. Anyways, yeah,
You're like, it has a better name, but I can't remember what it is.
yeah. I'm not big in RPGs really at all. Literally at all. The only RPG I think I ever played. That's because it was someone convinced me to play it. Is a newer one called Persona for Golden, and it was actually really fun, but and brutal because it took like a million years to finish. Yeah, RPG. There we go. Oh, Splatterhouse isn't. That's not Capcom though. I don't think.
So I pulled up a site. Let's see if this will help us find some more titles here. So Game Rant Top 10 Capcom Beat 'em Up ranked. And let's see where it starts. Some of these are going to be, I think, not necessarily arcade. So they say King of Dragons. Does that make our list? I don't know.
Knights of the Round is cool. Do you guys like Knights of the Round? That's a fun one. I'm going to put it on the list for now.
All right. See if we can get a list of
I've never played
more than
Warriors
12,
of Fate.
and then we can trim it down, right? We can go through the list and be like, no. So you got the Captain Commando.
Yeah.
You got
Final Fight's on my list.
Okay.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is on my list already.
Okay.
Armored Warriors is not, but that's a cool game.
Okay. Mutant Apocalypse.
Isn't that on one of the... What didn't they put that as like a bonus game on one of the cabinets? No? Am I wrong? I thought they had that somewhere.
I don't know.
So right now I have, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9. So I don't even have 10 yet. But we could put in you could put in like top Capcom. Let's see. Oh, it's an SNES game.
Yeah. All right. So that was from the Gamer.
People are suggesting some fighting games, but I'm kind of thinking you wouldn't mix those up in here because of button configurations. These are like mostly 2 to 3 button games, so you'd kind of keep it to games that are 2 to 3 buttons. And literally, this cab would just be beat 'em ups, right?
Yeah. Let's see if I can grab another list here. This is Ranker.com, the website with the most amount of ads possible. Aliens versus Predator, Armored Warriors.
I have Armored Warriors on the list already.
Battle Circuit. CPS.
I think I've seen Battle Circuit a bunch of times, but I've never played it.
Let's see.
It's on my Darksoft. I've never played it.
So, okay, I see. They pulled it from Wikipedia here.
It was 97. See, I would have been graduating. I would have graduated high school at 97. My graduating year, I was kind of out of the arcade at that point for a little while at least.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay.
I mean, it looks cool. Do you guys know that game?
We can add it in, and potentially it's one we trim. We got a couple dungeons.
Dragon Gamer just says OMG. I'm not sure what the OMG was for, but
okay. Did you get Dynasty Wars in there?
Yeah, I've never even seen. We should pull that up. I don't know that game either.
It sounds super familiar.
1989, so I should know it, but the cool thing is like you could get like a lot of really good quality ones on here. Yes, this is pretty true, Bill, actually. That's pretty much why. That's actually exactly why. I was like, why don't these girls want to go to the arcade with me?
Yeah.
Magic Sword should be on that list. Okay. Is Magic Sword a Capcom? It's interesting because you could have a really killer list. I just don't know if John would be able to convince Capcom to make this cabinet, but I think you could have a ton of people. You could call it like a
it's Capcom
beat 'em ups, legacy beat 'em or a Capcom legacy cabinet, and then you could have a category. Imagine if they did Capcom legacy beat 'em ups. Like that'd be so cool.
Did you ever play Warrior of Fate?
It's on our list. Warriors of Fate. I don't think I ever have.
Warriors of Fate. I don't think I've played it. This is Game Crate. And so check out. This site's actually pretty nice. It's got a pretty good. Here's Capcom beat 'em up. We got a handful of games. Knights of the Round,
which I know. I like Knights of the Round.
But what's this? What? I've never seen this game. What you like? Is this a cinema scene or you're eating?
It's an eat off, I guess. I don't know. Like maybe you just have to like hit A really, really fast to eat faster. That's totally a Capcom thing because Capcom loves to do those like weird cutscenes.
Fantasy beat 'em up set in the Three Kingdoms period. It's more violent than most of the other games in the bundle.
Let's see. Al says Warriors is good.
Okay. I
think probably have it
in between like a standard beat 'em up.
Yeah,
this is like times counting down. Like you got to put your coin in again. Like they're eating.
I just love that the chicken is basically the picture of chicken from every other game when you pick up chicken. Like it's the same picture of chicken. Like why did they think that? I don't know. It was really funny. That's what I always thought was funny about beat 'em ups. You're always picking up these power ups and it's like a chicken or a turkey or something. It's so funny. Oh, it is a sequel to Dynasty Warrior. Okay, I'm gonna have to play that because do you guys think is it worth me playing that game or Justin playing it? Let me know in the chat. But he said it's a bonus stage, and he said Dynasty Warrior was great. He said I wouldn't lead you guys astray. So
yeah. All right. So how many do you have in your list now?
Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12. But here's the thing. There's a lot of like really A+ games on here, right? Because you've got Alien versus Predator, which everyone wants.
Mm-hmm.
There's Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, which I think everyone likes. Punisher we've already seen on the Final Fight cabinet, and now it's going to be on the. Isn't Punisher? No, Punisher didn't get put. Punisher's just on the that Marvel cabinet. And that's it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The Marvel cabinet. Sorry, I think I said the wrong thing. Final Fight, Captain Commando, Dungeons
You were
and Dragons.
thinking what you suggested to them.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of games on here, but would this be something that people would be interested in even buying? I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. I know it's kind of we didn't think we were going to come and put together a list of games, but I'm just wondering, like, is it something that people would even want to buy if there was like a beat 'em up Capcom thing?
It's like a 12-in-1 beat 'em up, is what you're suggesting, Ralph.
Yeah,
like you could do that. See, this is interesting. The 12-in-1, they did that with Atari, and that makes sense with Atari. And then they're doing it as this legacy line, which is basically let's re-release some of the older cabinets, but with more games. But now we're kind of talking about what if they did a brand new one that has games that mostly they've never released.
Well, because think about it, right? They could totally do like they did a Final Fight already, like a dedicated Final Fight. Mm-hmm. They're definitely not going to do a dedicated Punisher because I just don't think they will. Alien versus Predator and Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, they're not big enough to do their own cabinet. So it's almost like, why not do a collaboration cabinet of Capcom titles? So then that way, like I think I don't know what you'd theme the artwork of it.
Oh, good point.
That'd be like, maybe that would be their first, maybe Capcom could put together some really cool artwork for them.
That's interesting. So this would be the first time they would actually have a mashup.
Yeah, like I think it'd be
artwork.
neat because none of these I think they do dedicated cabinets for. But I definitely would buy that. I'd totally buy that.
That's interesting because what you're saying is this is normally something they would never release because it doesn't have a quadruple A or a triple A marketing title. So,
but you might buy it if it was mixed with a bunch of other really awesome games.
I gotta share this. So first of all, these guys are awesome. These guys are awesome. So I have this theory,
and they're always having so much fun.
I have this theory that they work for ThinkUp. Like I was literally the other day going, "Are these the ThinkUp guys?" Because ThinkUp does a lot of their photos and stuff. A company, that works with Arcade 1-Up. So I was like trolling on LinkedIn to see if there's people that look like this.
Wait, could we reverse image search them?
I tried. I wanted to figure out who they are and bring them on the show.
And they didn't. They didn't come up.
I couldn't find them, but maybe we should talk to Arcade 1-Up. But check this out, right? I just wanted to mention. I don't know if anyone saw this, but do you guys remember the Marvel Superheroes arcade cabinet that came up with light up buttons? That was a QVC exclusive, but on Arcade 1-Up's website in the last day, they've updated and they're gonna re-release the Marvel Superheroes cabinet on a limited run. It's the 2019 version that has the light up buttons. It's going to be direct to consumer. Check it out on the website. So if you missed out on that version, there's going to be a chance to pick it up.
That's pretty cool.
And then you come to look at that guy,
and those two guys love it. He looks like his back hurts, and he's playing on the second player, which you could technically do, but it'd be very awkward to do. Anyways, he's leaning back a lot. His back looks like it hurts.
Seen the picture someone did on Reddit? It was like these guys doing a pillow fight.
No, but I wish I'd.
So funny.
All right, so we got a super chat from Edwin. Says play it on the live stream. Thanks, Edwin, for the super chat. I think it was one of the games we were talking about earlier. And then let's see, Techno Billy. Thanks for the super chat. He says Capcom had a beat 'em up bundle. Could keep this branding and re-release it. That's true. They did have a beat 'em up bundle. They had that beat 'em up bundle on. It was on like Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could totally keep the branding. They could even keep the I remember the in that beat 'em up bundle the like carousel or the way the games are presented is cool too. Like the way the UI is pretty neat. That's a good idea. I don't even know. I totally spaced on the fact that actually exists. So that would be pretty cool. And I think most of the games we actually have on our list are on that. So let's
check it out. So the beat 'em up bundle
on it though.
$20. Let's see.
Like look at that artwork. You could do a mashup like that.
They probably
already
have.
There's 12 games though. I don't think there's 12 games.
Let's see, what does it say for the number of games?
Wow, that's awesome. That doesn't tell you. That should really be in there.
So Capcom beat 'em up bundle as
yes,
an
arcade.
Cadillacs.
That's Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
What's that?
Oh yeah, there's Final Fight. Sorry, that's Final Fight. Sorry,
it's okay.
That's Final Fight.
So we got Final Fight. Come on, play, do it.
There's no way to like look in to see what the titles are because I doubt they're going to show all of them. You think?
Yeah, maybe. Hold on, I'll let that play and then let me look.
Yeah, and they have multiplayer. That's right. I forgot. They got multiplayer on this too. We played this
together, remember? Yeah. I think we did Final Fight. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so they already have multiplayer. I mean, I don't know if they would... I don't know. I feel like people would buy a cabinet like this. If it's online connected, 12-in-1 or whatever it is. That's all of them. There's not enough. There's 7. You need more than 7. I mean, you could get away with 7, but... So go back to that list where it flashed all the games right there.
Oh, just now?
If you go back a little bit in the video, there's like a second where it actually shows them all. Like it shows a splash screen with them all.
It's not letting me move it.
Oh, that's weird.
Anyway, hold on. All right. Keep it going. Keep it going, Ralph.
All right, let's see. So we got... The list is in the paragraph.
Oh.
So it was right there. It's been a long week.
Yeah. We can't read.
So Dragon Gamer says it's missing the good ones.
Yeah. I see it now.
If you guys don't know Dragon Gamer, do you realize Dragon Gamer does... I don't know what he looks like because in all his videos, he wears a dragon costume. I have absolutely no idea what Dragon Gamer looks like.
Yep.
He might actually be a real dragon. All right, so it's Final Fight, Captain Commando, The King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate. So these were all the games we had on it, but we threw in a lot more.
But it's still a good point that this could be Yeah, I wonder if John's thought of this. This is kind of cool idea.
I mean, if
Capcom
anything,
beat 'em
he
up.
should be able to pull this off. He's all
He
buddy
used to
buddy
work
with
there,
Capcom,
right? Like
I know
all
he
of
should
those
be like,
guys.
yeah. And I just feel like they haven't done I know that this breaks their business model because their business model is let's focus on a title, make the artwork of that title. But what if they tried it and did like, hey, we're going to do a mashups cab direct to consumer. And if
Yeah.
it does well, that could be kind of fun.
It's kind of funny. Before this show, this was not in the plan, but I like how the outcome of where this is going. You know,
I got to admit, 19K Fox is actually kind of right. I mean, Alien versus Predator would be kind of a AAA title, I think. It has that it's very popular. It's on, but I don't think Arcade 1-Up would do it as its own cabinet. But I do think they would do it in this kind of a format if they could. I just wouldn't want them to skimp out. I feel like 7 wouldn't be enough. Go with the 12-in-1 or 10-in-1 and just like, I think people would buy this. I don't know. And guys, trust me, I know that you probably think that we like have some ulterior motive or we're doing some work for John here. This is legitimately like,
Yeah.
we just made this up right now. I had no clue. Justin and I didn't even really know what we were going to do today anyway. So like the fact that we got to this, like make up a cabinet, it's kind of fun. I think it would be fun to have that.
right?
Do a Kickstarter for it, he says. Let's see.
So we're talking about the Alien versus Predator 1994 arcade game, right? That's the AAA title. I'm trying to
Alien
remember
versus Predator
what
Pac-Man cab, someone suggested.
I'm trying to
Final
remember
Fight.
what it looked like. The actual cabinet. Did it have good artwork?
Oh, so that's true. They said Alien versus Predator was probably absent from the beat 'em ups collection because of licensing issues. That's
Oh,
probably
right.
why. Well, who
I bet
owns?
that's a really hard one to get a license for because, like, does somebody own Alien? Someone owns Predator, and does someone else own the combination of the two?
Probably.
Or
That
is it just
sucks.
those two companies?
That sucks. It might not ever be possible. It might be one of those things where you just have to play it under emulation and that's it. That sucks. See, that kind of sucks when it comes to stuff like that. But you're right. Everyone's saying it could be licensing. Oh, is it Disney now? Is it?
I wonder. Both owned by Fox, which is owned by Disney now. So I wonder.
So they do have relationships with Disney.
Yeah. So maybe it could work. And then Michael B was talking about same with Punisher. So is that why you're able to do Punisher? Because
Well, wait,
it was
why
on
were
a-
they able? Well, wait, why
it
were
was
they
on
able
a
to
Disney
do?
cab?
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
See, this is where when we start talking about the business side, this is when it's like the fun gets sucked out of it because they're like, oh, we can't do it because we got to pay Fox and we got to pay Disney, and we got to pay Konami, and we got to pay Capcom. It's like Mike Levinsky says everything is Disney. Disney owns everything. All right, I need to get the dogs to be quiet for one more second.
How do you get
This
them
is-
to be quiet? Why don't you take your camera with you and we can understand how it works?
Well, I can't take it with me. Well, I
I'm-
don't. I just
I'm
say,
really
Bella,
curious how
Bella,
it
shh,
works.
shh. I'm doing the show, Bella, shh. And she's like, huh?
What?
Bella,
All right.
I'm doing the show. Shh, shh. Oh, crap.
Oh man, she's mad at you, huh? All right. So the Capcom.
Jeez.
This is crazy, man. See, Adam's got a good point. So now if all we need is Disney to just buy Capcom, and then we can release a new cabinet that has every Capcom game on it. And I know Bella is we just need, I told Ralph, I was like, just go get Bella and we'll just make her part of the show, you know? So there's one other thing that I want to talk about of these beat 'em ups. Is the Simpsons arcade cabinet. So now that we've talked about, make sure Ralph hears this part. Now that we've talked about the Capcom cabinet that of course John D's going to come out with in 2022, because you know it's confirmed. It's confirmed here live already. Anyway, that's a joke. What do you think about the Simpsons cabinet? The idea that Arcade 1-Up will do a Simpsons cabinet. Now that's made by it's owned by Disney, and
Yeah.
and it's another beat 'em up. It's another very, very popular beat 'em up game. And I think in the same way, it's not a fun game by yourself. You know, it doesn't have.
I played it a little bit today because I hadn't played it in a long time.
Yeah,
It's not fun, but
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those games where like it's more fun when someone's playing with you. I think.
I remember playing that game a lot and at the arcade. And what was fun about that one in particular, X-Men was kind of like this too, or you would play the different characters. Like, okay, I'm going to play Bart now. Do you know what I mean? But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like you would probably always be Ralph, right? Because your name's Ralph. That's my guess. And I would be Donatello. Maybe you were Donatello. I don't know. I would be Donatello because I like Donatello, but not because he has, better moves or whatever. But Simpsons, I actually really liked Marge the most. She's like throwing
Why,
a
because
vacuum
you like hitting
or
people
something.
with a vacuum?
Yeah, I just thought it was always so cool to hit people with a vacuum.
I feel like in my arcade, whenever I'd go up to that game, everyone would want to play as Bart.
Yeah. No, I
Just because
always
Bart
thought
was
I was like, no, I'm playing as Marge because she's actually awesome.
There's something going on here in the chat where it says, "Don't let Michael be the Game Genie dog sit." So he might have given me some instructions to like physically harm the dog or something. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Yes.
Yeah. So
we're on the show.
I'm curious. What do you think, Ralph? Out of the three, in my opinion, or some of the biggest well-known beat 'em ups, X-Men, Simpsons, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which one is your favorite out of the three? And then maybe people in the chat can give their opinion.
So the one that was, and I think the reason why it's my favorite is because it was super memorable in the arcade, because my arcade had the 6-player one. It's X-Men. And it's funny because when I posted my videos, all those videos, X-Men was outpacing every other video I published for a while. And then Killer Instinct caught up to it. Yeah. But I think and I'm not saying that just the views of my videos would dictate what's most popular, but it seemed like X-Men is just something people have been wanting for a long time, because I think a lot of people fall into that category too, where X-Men, they had that 6-player cabinet. It was super memorable. People love the Marvel characters. Like, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know how it wouldn't do well.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, you sold me on it already. This is the Simpsons one. This is just some random picture I got on the internet. But some people might like the look and feel of the game, but the X-Men, you're right, because like it trumps it immediately. It's just like, yeah, but we got a 6-player version. So coming to that, if Arcade 1-Up could come out with in the future only one of these two, they could either do a Simpsons cabinet and it's 4-player, or they actually do a 6-player X-Men. Which one do you think they should do? And I'd love to hear in the chat what you guys think.
Wait, you're saying my only options are the
Imagine John called and said, crap, we can only build one of these. It's either going to be a Simpsons 4-player
that sucks,
or
dude.
it's a 6-player X-Men. Which one should we do?
Well, that's going to be tough, because I think some people wouldn't want a 6-player X-Men, because there's going to be people that would absolutely love a 6-player X-Men, and then there's going to be some that are going to go, oh my gosh, that would take up way too much space.
Mike's like,
I know it's not a fair question. I know, I feel like it's unfair.
Here's what the irony. I think there's irony. Like, if you say, okay, I agree with you, Ralph. You go to the arcade, right? And you look at all the cabinets, and all of a sudden, like the one in Denver that I went to that had the 6-player, the 1-Up bar down in Greenwood Village, that has the 6-player X-Men, and it's way on its own. It's actually in the front of the building. You have to walk in, and you see all of the arcades, and then you turn around, and all by itself in its own little corner is this gigantic X-Men. And when it's
they
like
had one at the other one too. Yeah, they had one at the other one too. I don't know. That's not. It isn't. I agree with Michael.
I know
B.
it's
I think
not
it's
fair,
not.
But if you think about it, it's like you go to the arcade and the 6-player X-Men is the one that blows you away. But you're like, oh, they need to come out with a Simpsons. Maybe it's just because we're comparing. You really gonna fit a 6-player X-Men from Arcade 1-Up in your house?
Here's the thing. I feel like a 6-player, if that was possible, I think I'd have to go. I'd have to go against X-Men, because that's too big. I think there are people that are already we've had this discussion before. The dilemma is space. No matter whether you buy the Arcade 1-Up or full-size arcades or whatever, it's space. So it's like, if I had to buy a 6-player X-Men, I might be able to fit 2 cabinets in that 6-player X-Men space. So now I would be like not buying it not because I don't want to buy it, but because I don't have the space. So it'd be like a crappy. You're giving us the crappy thing here.
Okay, fine. Well,
I don't
and the
like
reality
this.
is they're probably. I wonder if they're going to do both. And if they, let's say they did both, why would they do both? If they did both, the 6-player X-Men would be on a small run. They're not going to make. I doubt they're going to sell.
I feel like he's
30,000
kind of confirmed.
of those. They couldn't do it, right?
Don't you feel like he's kind of confirmed the 6-player X-Men because he talks about having a bigger screen? He talks about having like a 24-inch screen or something like that. And it's like, what else would you put a 24-inch screen in? Because you do only retro games. But if you were going to do X-Men, then you would because you'd like extend the playfield out.
Yeah, I totally think that.
He has no other reason to do it.
That's 24-inch, 16:9, 6-player X-Men. But it's all marketing, I think. Because if they do a press release that's like, yeah, we did a 6-player X-Men, that's kind of like buzzworthy. You know, people would be talking about it. If we were in water coolers in the office, you'd be like, did you hear there's this company that they're doing a 6-player X-Men. It's so funny. Take a look at this picture. Like, how are you going to fit 6 people on it? But it doesn't matter because you're talking
who's the guy
about it.
Do you think the guy from Saturday Night Live would buy it? Pete Davidson or whatever?
Well, so yeah, there's some people that would totally get it. People that have the space or love that game more than ever. But I don't think it's going to be their top selling cabinet. It's not going to it's not going to put Scott's kids through college a 4th time.
I don't know what he means, but Jeff gave us a super chat. Said if they had 20 6-player games. I don't know. He must have been saying something that doesn't make sense now. I don't know.
Oh, that's another good question. So they do. Let's say they do a.
I know what you mean. Like
if they do a, what other games
the
do you
dog's
put on
stuck
it?
on my cable. Hold on.
Yeah, so how would that even work, right? So if you have a 6-player X-Men, what games are you going to pair with it? Is it just basically the same games they're pairing with the 4-player? I asked the what games would you pair with a 6-player X-Men?
How many 6-player arcade games are there, though? Like, that'd be a good list to look up.
Yeah, I was looking the other day. We would love to get your help. Does anyone in the chat know of one more 6-player arcade? See, Paul's it's good. How many
I'm trying to think of one that. I don't know.
6-player Transformers by Kirby.
What?
Kirby said 6-player Transformer.
It's so funny when you look up 6-player arcade games on like a Google image search.
Like,
it just shows X-Men? It just shows a ton of pictures of X-Men. That's all it shows. Was there not another 6-player cabinet?
Dance Dance Revolution, does that count?
No, it'd have to be retro. I don't think there is. I don't remember one.
I don't recall one.
Huh. You know what was awesome though, that was retro, that was 6-player, but it wasn't a single cabinet. Hold on. Google this game. It's a Midway.
Those race cars?
No, it was a Midway game when they took what's his name? I can't remember who did the side project. It was a side project for Midway called The Grid. Go look up pictures of the game called The Grid.
I will in 1 second.
Oh, Killer Queen. Yeah, that's true.
I got that picture. Let's take a look at that.
So I don't remember how many. Killer Queen is cool, but it's not retro. But it is cool. I mean, it is retro in the sense it's designed with retro artwork, but it's not like a retro game, like an older game.
Yeah.
But The Grid, look up The Grid. Look up Midway The Grid. Because I think you could pair 6 of them together. It just wasn't one cabinet. It was like a bunch of cabinets. This game was really cool. It was like a first person, or maybe it was third person.
Okay, I got it.
I think it's third person because you see yourself, but.
Share screen. This guy? The Grid.
Yeah, like you like it was like you fought. It was like a shooter, but like you were in this virtual world. But I think they could link like 6 of these cabinets together or more. But it's not one cabinet, so this doesn't count. But I highly doubt they'll ever do The Grid, so so that's not going to happen. But this was like I want to say it was like an Ed Boon side project or something.
Really?
I think they talked. I think they talked about it on the I think they talked about it on the what's it called? Yeah, someone David Deming said the grid is amazing. They talked about it on the Insert Coin documentary, I think.
Okay. Yeah. That's
So I don't know.
cool.
Does anybody have a 6-player? Or anything else that's 6-player? Because what would they put on it then? All right, let's say they make the 6-player. What else are they going to put on it? Are they going to put other 4-player games on the 6-player cabinet?
Be the same games that's on the 4-player. It's just
So it'd
the
just be
same.
like you just have to like stand in a different spot or something.
Yeah. It's like the 2 side ones would have no purpose. And then at my house, if I got it, none of the players would have any purpose because no one will.
X-Men would be way too big for someone's house. Dream Machine barely had room for it. That's actually this guy Chad went to high school with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey Chad, what's up? That's awesome. And he went to Dream Machine. He's
Machine
mentioned
was your
Dream
arcade.
Machine. That's the name of the arcade that was in our mall, the Lincoln Mall.
So that's it. There's
Yeah.
no other 6-player. See, this is why. And then what are the chances of them being able to, if there is another 6-player, how are you going to pair it? That's why I think this is just kind of, if they do it, it's kind of niche. It's for marketing. And
Yeah, it might be just one of those things like, hey, look, we can do it, and the super fans will be able to buy it. But I just can't imagine what that would look like.
Wait. How
Would you have a riser? Would you have
He said I've listed like 12
6-player arcade
Super
games?
trivia.
Okay, but
I've been
he's
listing
stretching a little bit.
player games. Yeah, come on. Ocean King.
No, arcade games. What's Ocean King? I've never heard of that before. You're making stuff up.
He's like, oh, you mean arcade games?
Did you say that?
These are like Ocean King is that like a card game? Oh my god.
The heck is Ocean King?
It's just oh man. He's like, I know a 6-player game, Uno.
They sell Ocean King on Alibaba. That's like a game like they wire it up to be able to gamble with it or something, I think.
Yeah. Hey, it's 6
Isn't
player.
that-
It's 6-player. Throw it on.
You know what's
Throw
so
it on
weird?
the
So
arcade one.
this is super random, but we were watching the news like a couple months ago, and they were raiding some facility here locally in Phoenix. And do you remember? Like I search Alibaba all the time. Do you remember that game? Does your daughter like that game at Dave and Buster's where you have the spear and you have to spear the sharks and you get like tokens for it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's wicked popular at Dave and Buster's. Like whoever has kids, you know your kids have played that game. And they had a version of that. It looked just like that, except it was for gambling. And it was like these guys were raiding the facility, and that thing was sitting there in the middle. And it was like, I looked it up on Alibaba, and it can be set up as like a gambling machine. Like you're spearing sharks, but you're like somehow there's money involved in it. Like you're versing the other. I don't know. It's weird. Fish murder? No, it's not called fish murder.
Harpoon Lagoon? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's Harpoon Lagoon. I think that's what it is. It's like a big, huge thing. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
I digress.
Harpoon Lagoon. Let's throw that on the X-Men 6-player.
Yeah, do
Why
a
not?
Harpoon Lagoon.
It's
so I think
6-player, right?
what was the whole point? What were we actually talking about today?
Let's go back to, you have your list.
Yeah.
How many games are on your list? So this was a list of
I actually have
Capcom
12. There's
beat 'em
12.
up. Well, let's take a look at the list.
All right, my spelling is off on some of it, so just don't make
It's
fun
okay.
of it. But
He was jotting it down.
okay, that's the list.
Mashup cabinet. Take a picture, guys. This is it. Confirmed.
Take a picture. Knights of the Round are owned. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be uncharted waters for them. They should do it.
Man. I don't know, man. See, Final Fight's on there, and that's on their 12-1. See?
I know, but who cares?
Okay.
I think it'd be cool. They don't have a lot of like beat 'em ups are fun, and like they're already going down the beat 'em up path. They're doing X-Men, they're doing Simpsons, but like I think you'd be less bored, and the replay value would be there if you had a lot of them. Like get a lot of them on there, get some variety of side-scrolling beat 'em ups, and then I think because you have a lot of variety here. Dungeons and Dragons is very different than Final Fight. Punisher is very different than Knights of the Round. Like there's a good mix in here.
Yeah.
The only one I think they
But
can't
is
do
it
is I just think
waterproof?
Of course, it would 100%. So this would be the wild card.
Wade's like, every word is spelled wrong.
Is it? Yeah, I know. This if
like,
it wasn't for Grammarly, literally,
yeah,
like I wouldn't be able to
he's
spell.
like, sorry, Grammarly doesn't work in Notepad.
Yeah, I know.
See, the
Notepad
problem
doesn't
with
have spell
Grammarly
check.
and tools like that, like you just stop spelling because you start
Yeah, I don't know
using
how to
words
spell.
as shortcuts, right?
Okay,
You're
making
just like,
me feel
just
insecure now.
autocomplete me. I don't even care anymore.
So all right, it would be we Alien versus Predator would probably be the only one that would be impossible to get because they've already done Punisher. Final Fight they can do. I think all the rest of these would be okay. Like I think they'd be able to pull these off. It's just Alien versus Predator would be tough.
Yeah.
Every word is spelled. Okay, I'm shut it off now. There's gonna be a tweet that says like Retro Ralph can't spell or something. I know it. It's happening. It's already probably out there. All right, Limelight, dinosaurs. Thanks, super chat, bud. Brad says tough crowd, and then How to Bachelor said Ralph went to Rhode Island schools. That's true. The school system wasn't that good in Rhode Island. I'm surprised they made it this far in life. Believe me, it's very true. Natalie says East Coast schooling. Wow, a lot of people are thrown in. The East Coast schools.
Look, I can't spell very well either, but dude, dinosaurs.
How did I spell it?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Diny sours is what it looks like. Diny sours. See? We're making candy up at the same time. This is a multifaceted show. We do everything. Ralph should do his list in crayons. You guys are wicked rough.
Oh, man,
Paul says, why would AVP be tough? Paul, if you missed it, we had this little brief conversation about how it's owned by Disney now. We figured out. So it might not be tough, but the problem is with a cabinet like this, they'd have to pay royalties to Capcom and Disney. So they may not want to do that.
Did that game have music tied to the movie? Or anything movie related, because then I think that's another issue.
It might. I don't remember if the music. I think the music was pretty generic for the most part.
I think some of these are just like royalty distributions, like the challenge of you just have to make all those connections. You know, into that
Tiny sours.
Tiny sours. That's.
Anybody remember Dino Saucers? See, that's what I thought we were talking about. I thought we were talking about Dino Saucers. I have no idea what Dino Saucers is, but that's cool. I could have used that. It's Dinosaurs. Yeah, whatever. All right. What did Natalie says? I want a fish murder game and Dino Sours to snack on. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what else we got here. Too many hands in the pots.
What did we learn today? Did we learn
nothing?
We learned that Diny Sours is the next arcade one-up cabinet, and
my calculator's an abacus.
Harpoon Lagoon.
In my calculator, I count with an abacus, so that's cool. So there you go.
That's good. So I think we got to bring it back, Ralph.
Wait, was Ralph typing the list or his dog? Wow, I'm getting tore up.
Really
tore up.
Hey, Ralph, you know what time it is?
It's Final Thoughts time. Oh, are we actually do Final Thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, it's Final Thoughts time. So what did we learn this week on the One Up Weekly? Well, we learned that Justin and I do a really good job trying to make a show about one thing and then giving you a show about something completely different. We did that. We also learned that Dino Sours is a candy. It would be a cool name for a candy, but it doesn't exist. We also learned I can't spell worth a damn. We also learned that Bella is naughty. We also learned that side-scrolling beat-em-ups can be monotonous at times, but everyone seems to not care. You guys have literally said in the chat, you're like, I don't care. I want it. Give it to me. I do not care. So that's good. We learned that too. And we learned, I don't think that I can't spell. We learned that I can't spell. I think that's it. I think that's all we learned. And that I need Hooked on Phonics.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, guys, you want to add to that list?
So there's a couple super chats that I think we may have missed. There was one that I thought was really interesting. I don't know, Ralph, if you've heard about this, but what's the guy's name? He's in the chat. He did a super chat, and we missed you. If
Who do we miss?
So we got Vic Vicious. How to Bachelor said.
Hold on. What's that app that we use? I can pull it up real quick. I didn't have it up. Stream Elements.
Yeah.
Give me a
So
second.
we're gonna go through and make sure we got everyone. And I think there was a couple that were really interesting. So some people were talking about that the Outrun cabinet. Like if you play Outrunner for like 20 minutes, I don't know if you saw this, Ralph. Like it would overheat.
Yeah, I did. But has anybody actually showed it overheating?
Yeah,
because I would love to see that.
It's an interesting one because that was one of the first cabinets that came out that we noticed that has a fan on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I kind of assumed it had a fan because, just kind of as Arcade 1-Up grows, they want to get into more international places. And sometimes the policies and regulations like require them to go over the top so they can get the certification. That's why you'll start seeing Arcade 1-Up make changes to their cabinet. It's just so they can get in. So I assumed the fan was just like a part of it. Like some company would, do the analysis and see if it's certified to be distributed in this region. They're like, oh yeah, it even has a fan. That's cool.
Yeah.
But then now I'm starting to wonder if the fan is because it's overheating.
Maybe. Maybe, yeah. So hey, do we know who it was that we missed the super chat of?
Scroll down. I for some reason the name's not coming to me.
Was it Vic Vicious?
Well, someone in the chat did say we missed a Vic Vicious.
Okay, so he had one that said 6-player X-Men would be like 2 cabs side by side. That's not too big. Okay, so Vic, thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, I think it probably would be.
Zen has been messaging me all day long, literally saying you need to learn the Killer Instinct guitar intro. So you gotta learn that.
I plan on doing that, and I plan on when we get a review unit, we'll have a fun event, and the intro will probably have a Killer Instinct performance. I actually had this idea where I get the stems for that, so we get the keyboard sound. I'll do all the guitar parts, and then every now and then Ralph will go Killer Instinct.
All right,
like we actually perform the whole most of it, But
that's
you have to do
cool.
all the Killer Instinct part.
I'll do that.
That could be fun. Yeah.
So Techno Billy said I spend an hour daily on Outrunners and no issues. So I get that. That doesn't mean that it could be an isolated incident.
Yeah. So if it is true, I wonder if it's only some units are doing it. That's weird.
It would be weird unless the fans are failing.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, if the fans are failing, I can see it overheating for sure.
Yeah.
The fans don't sound very healthy to begin with.
Oh, really?
The fan sounds a little. Yeah, it sounds like. I don't know how to explain it. Even the one that is in the
you're
Star
gonna have to do
Wars
a silent fan mod. There you go.
Yeah, I haven't actually opened it up to see it. I might as well open it up because if that is something that ends up going out, fans are. I replaced a fan in a Capcom CPS2 board. It was like $5 for the fan, and that was actually like on the higher. You can get them for like $3, $4. I don't know what kind of fan it is, but I'm assuming it's a really small fan because that area is not that big.
Yeah, Venomous just made a good point. He says, I bet the heat just has to do with the environment. Like, maybe the dude that's overheating, he lives in Florida and it's super humid or something like that. I don't know. Nothing against people in Florida. Had a bachelor.
Are you saying we should not sell Outrun cabinets to people in warmer climates or something? Or?
Yeah, like you should.
Oh, okay.
It's going to overheat.
All right, 19K Fox, thanks for the super chat. Said Dino Sours is a candy by McCormick's trademark lawsuit incoming. No. Stringer's Film says, I thought you were going to talk about pinball. Actually, there was something I did want to talk about. Did you see so this kills me, guys. It kills me. It pains me. So for the longest time, I was working I bought this board from China. It was supposed to be an LVDS to HDMI converter. And the whole point of that was I wanted to be able to take any Arcade 1-Up PCB and then convert it to HDMI so you could display it on any TV you wanted. So you could mod it to anything. I bought 2 of these things. Mm-hmm. And this was like it's got to be close to 2 years ago because it was right when Arcade 1-Up started. And I Googled LVDS to HDMI converter on AliExpress and this part came up. I bought 2 of them and neither one of them worked. One of them got really warm to the touch and then never displayed anything. But why I ended up finding out it didn't, and this is total Justin conversation, is that it wasn't displaying the right resolution. So like it didn't know what to do with the resolution I was giving it. Now, so maybe there's been new ones that have been put out with different firmware, or I just had two bad ones. But
Yeah,
there's
so
a video floating out there of someone using that LVDS converter and having it work. Like, it actually works.
Yeah, that's right. I bought one. I never tried it. I'll have to take a look at it and see. But yeah, the one that I had is from China. It's 1280 by 960 LVDS in, HDMI out. So that it should be the right connector. It's probably the same one. I think it's the same one that I haven't watched the whole video, but I saw it on Facebook.
It's by like something Worm. The name of the company is like something Worm. I can't remember.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I can't remember what it's called.
But it's kind of exciting. I could see some people wanting to do mods. I think the most popular mod that people would want to do is it really expands the ability for people to upgrade monitors.
Yeah, that's exactly why they would want it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so you
They
could
can
go
put any
over to
monitor they
Tulsa
want.
and pick up his. Yeah, Sean's in the chat here.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Shaun
cool.
Watson. Yes, his Geek Worm.
Yeah, Geekworm. Yeah, so I was when I saw Sean's video, I was like, oh my gosh, this like because I was trying to get that thing to work forever, and in his video it worked like first try, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to revisit this topic because, I mean, it could be possible I got two bad ones, or it could be possible I had it. Like the one tricky thing is he shows in his video, there's usually a red dot on the end of the.
Right.
I think there's I can't remember if it's white or red on the Arcade 1-Up cable, but you have to make sure that your pin 1 is in the right place on that, and that board is like a 40 pin board. So it's like kind of confusing because you wouldn't want to go all the way to the left-hand side. But anyways, long story short, the whole point of this board is to be able to take, like you guys have been asking for a long time, I want to keep my Arcade 1-Up stock, but I want a bigger monitor. Like I don't want to mod it, but I want a bigger monitor. I want a monitor mod it. So this, if this works really well and it's repeatable, JC over at Tulsa Arcades, who sells the monitor mount already, he may be able to sell a bigger monitor mount, or your variety of screens now becomes a lot more than it was before because everyone's buying those Dell 2007 FP whatever.
They're super
like
expensive, right? It was like
yeah,
50
they went
bucks originally, and some people can get them for like 30 bucks. Like you go on Craigslist and maybe someone who's just like selling off their office supply, because they're a super popular office supply monitor back in the day, right? But like on eBay,
yeah,
the sellers got wind of what they're used for, and it didn't even say that they like started
yeah,
advertising.
Some will say like good for Arcade 1-Up mod, and you're like, what the heck? Like yeah,
and,
so
but then
it's
the
crazy.
monitors are selling for like, last I checked, it was $150, and so that was a popular monitor because it's 4x3 and it's 20 inch. But the other thing is, to get that one, typically people are swapping it out and putting a Pi in it. And I don't know if my YouTube channel is just not attracting people that mod their cabinets. But like whenever I make videos that are just talking about keeping things stock, there's so many people that are like, yeah. And I have a feeling, again, it could be just the demographic that I'm attracting. But we've talked about this before. We think there's a larger, like, even though you look at the modding community that are like gutting the Arcade 1-Up, and there's even people that comment on the channel every now and then that'll be like, why would you want to go through all that effort when you're just going to gut the cabinet anyway? And that's the weird thing. Like, that's not actually super common. Like, I think what's way more common is people buy it and keep it legit. Like, yeah, I'm not saying anything against the people that do mod it. I just think the putting a Pi in it is not the majority. And it's
it can seem like that based on, like we've said before, if you're in a certain Facebook group like that only talks about that, it can seem like that's all what people do. But think about it, they sold millions of these cabinets now, so like there's a pretty big audience for it. But I just want to say really quick, Shaun, that was awesome, and that is a very super helpful thing. So I think a lot of people in the community that want to do that with a monitor upgrade are going to should definitely check out your video. Yeah. So if you have a way to put because I don't think your YouTube channel is Shaun Watson. I think you have a name for it, I think. So if you have it and you want to throw it in there, is it?
Yeah, we'll put it in the...
Yeah, if you give it to us, maybe throw it in, send it to Justin or myself or something, and we'll make sure to put it in the description or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, man. I think that wraps it up.
We didn't talk about the pinball thing, but we don't have time. So we could do 2 seconds. I can do 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
So I think he said the reason why he likes it he said he was interested in maybe getting the At Games pinballs because of, I think he said pinball effects, I think is what he said. So you'd still, I think I don't have one, so I haven't been able to, like, I have a pinball effects, I have a VPX build upstairs that I use on that vertical cabinet. So I would love to plug that in and see how things work, because there's all these unknowns that I don't know about as far as like how does it work with multiple screens and all that stuff, and do all the haptics translate, or do all the controls translate one to one. So I do think that is cool. Like I gotta say, like if you're looking at a higher end virtual pinball machine that's going to cost you thousands of dollars, and your whole plan is to run multiple VPX tables and stuff, this is cheaper than a DIY kit, actually. So if your plan was, I want to buy the At Games as a base kit and then I'm going to like mod the crap out of it, there is not a cheaper kit to do that. It would be cheaper to do that than to go get like a Game Room Solutions kit or a Rec Room Masters kit. So it is pretty viable when you look at it from that perspective. The problem is good luck trying to find one. That's the thing. Right now you can't get one. So that's a bummer. But all right, so Stringer says racked up a dozen. What? $10 each? Seriously?
He saw it coming. He's like, "Yep, I'm gonna buy a house. I'm gonna finish my basement.
And I'm gonna fill it with Dell monitors." And then he wanted to insult Florida drivers. Apparently, he paid $2 to insult all Florida drivers. Florida drivers are awful. So Mike Lebinsky's gonna have something to say about you, my friend, because he lives in Florida. So.
I think the only last update I can think of is How to Bachelor was mentioning it in the chat. For the members that are on the show, we will be doing a members only live stream with How to Bachelor. Cool guy. He'll be our guest on our show. We don't know when that'll be, but it'll be this month, right, Ralph?
Yes.
Sometime this month. And then,
but hey, just remember, someone reminded us, our next show is going to be an auction.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So I didn't realize it's actually coming up. It's next weekend. So we got to figure that out. But that auction, dude, I looked through the listings. It's a killer auction. Like it's got some really good stuff.
That's great.
That'll be exciting. And then Michael B says the pinballs will be available in March, by the way. So if anyone's looking for the At Games pinball, it sounds like March will be the time.
Sounds good.
Thank you for that.
All right.
All right, I got to get Tanner. Otherwise, I'm going to be the worst father ever. So if I could do that, that'd be awesome.
We'll see you on the next one.
All right, take care, guys.
Push it.